you very much, Prof. Shad, for such um, very comprehensive inputs and in fact answering some of the questions and concerns, even to quite a number of questions which has already been pushed forward. In our usual seminar, usually I will start off with, I would like to invite for a round of applause, but in such setting, yes, I hope everyone at home can do your own applauses. Okay, before I move straight forward to the question and answer, I would like to invite our co-organizer, Mr. Ali Salman from Islam and the Liberty Network, to share some of his own inputs regarding the topic. Are you ready there?
I was sharing my thoughts after listening to you very attentively for last 45 minutes or so, that Prof. Shad has left nothing to be said now. And I think all the points which I had, no, I think, but what you have said is, I'd just like to, I think, maybe reiterate a couple of points which Professor Shad has highlighted. One is, I think, largely driven by the local political dynamics, which is relevant to Malaysia, given what happened, I think, in the political, unexpected political change a couple of months ago, and given how the parliament session was prorogued, I think that was raising already so many questions. And today you have also addressed that question again. And I agree that the government power needs to be checked with the power, the parliament is the right platform for that. And I hope that the announcement that we heard recently from the government that the parliament session would be called in for just one day can be reconsidered. And in the sense that these are very important moments. You have highlighted definitely very rightly that while the government is passing orders with apparently good intentions and noble intentions, but it needs to be checked and legally based on sound constitutional principles. Otherwise, this crisis can actually lead to more authoritarianism, which was the trend in the world in many countries. We have seen that emerging. So I hope that this crisis, which is of global nature, is not used by government here and government anywhere else to increase their control. And this is also the time to be more transparent about how decisions are being made. I think with rule of law, with the democracy you have highlighted, also comes the very important question of the transparency. How, for instance, the government is making decisions, which economic sectors are under control, under lockdown, which are under not lockdown. There's a lot of confusion there. And I suspect that the role which a parliament, and I believe that we have a very strong and responsible opposition now, and the role which the parliament can play at this point through legislation, through legislative scrutiny, can actually be much more important than the normal times. So I think I would definitely second that point. I would also like to raise maybe another point that while this in the movement control order is of course an important need of the time, but increasingly we see that the economic rights of people, especially a majority of people who may not have the luxury of working from home or have a digital platform to do business, would be definitely devastated, as you rightly pointed out. So maybe there's a point when the government should come up with a clear strategy on relaxation on these restrictions, but come up with a very coherent manner. Right now, the announcements which we see from the government are not well thought out. And I think this is a time where maybe more coherent strategy can be adopted. You also mentioned, I think, important points about the religion freedom and also its relationship with the social order. And again, I second that. I think this is something which has puzzled the religious followers in all the faith tradition across the world. And perhaps this is the point need to be made at this is the time that where the spirit of the religion should be given priority over the letter of the religion. So with these very brief inputs, I think I hope and look forward to further discussion in this very thought-provoking webinar. And I also congratulate Professor Shad for again very articulately presenting his points.